Hi there.
Hiya,
I'm Lou if you're new to the site,
I'm John.
and this is what we call a heart to heart, which
Yep.
basically means we're sitting in our kitchen. We've got a bit of a germ, I'm afraid, so I hope we
Yeah,
don't cough too much.
yeah.
And we just speak. Uh, so there we go.
Just to prove it,
Yeah, just needed to do that really to
just in
get
case you were in any
bit of
doubt.
sympathy on his side. I know,
No.
milking it for all it's worth.
Oh, you better believe it.
So, I'm sorry you've not heard from us for a while. If you don't hear from us, usually it means something is going on
Yeah,
underneath. And what's been happening is John has been writing his story, and his
yeah.
story is very inspiring. And you finished it last week. We have a publisher, and so that'll be around probably what, early spring, maybe.
No, I think it might be a wee bit later than that. I think
Right.
maybe summer.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. It's quite exciting.
Yeah.
So
And there'll be copies of that, won't there? And we don't know what it's going to be called yet.
yeah, we're kind of debating what the title is. I suggested a title, but the publisher was less happy with it. But we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. And also, you've been in dialogue with a podcast producer.
Yes.
So we're hoping to do some podcasts because that seems to be one of the media that everybody is using at the moment.
Yeah, and again, that's quite exciting because he's produced podcasts for other people, and he has said that he would like to do for us. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and thank you very much if you're listening.
Yeah. So we'll see where we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the new year we'll have some interesting news for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just really here to just talk about Christmas, and it can be a really tough time. What I'm going to do when we finish this is just do a little video that if you're in pain, just jump on and just let's get together for 5 minutes and just talk about what that feels like. But I think our general advice is to approach Christmas really with negotiation and pragmatism, really, isn't it?
It is. Just before we start into that, if you've never watched any of our videos before, you might think we're kind of rambling a bit, but it's kind of the way we do it.
Yes,
we just
unscripted.
We do it unscripted because we do that deliberately because we try to do it from the heart, and and we try to do it as a discussion with Lou and ourselves, and hopefully bring you into this discussion. So grab yourself a cuppa and sit and have a chat with us. Okay, you were going to talk Christmas.
Yeah, but I said that when I looked at you and I thought you were going to launch forth about pragmatism and negotiation.
I nearly did.
Yes.
But I thought I'd better tell them that we're not, this is planned rambling.
I've said that.
I know, but I'll just say that again.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Right.
Not only do we not script it, we don't even listen to each other.
Okay. Right, negotiation.
Negotiation.
Yeah, and pragmatism.
Yes. Christmas is a difficult time. If you're looking for somebody to change at Christmas, then this is probably about the worst time. In fact, I actually was talking to a client the other day, and we're looking at sort of changing his drinking, and we said, maybe this is not the best time. So we started looking at January, because January is beginning of the year, New Year resolution, the whole bit, so people are used to changing at that time. Now, I'm not saying people can't change at Christmas. I'm just saying that they generally don't.
Yes.
There is a kind of entitlement around Christmas, that this is the time to be jolly, this is the time to celebrate, this is the time where everybody drinks, and when I was drinking I used to think, well, all the amateurs drink at this time, so why shouldn't I, everybody else drinks, it's why I don't want to be a killjoy, and I don't think anybody else should be a killjoy. That's the way I looked at it, so I think it's a difficult time to change, and we've been in a diet recently, and we've been buying all this stuff for Christmas, and I keep saying mince pies going past, and chocolate, and thinking cake, and think, and it's just so difficult.
Same with egg being covered up like a bird in a cage.
Yes, I had to cover it up just because I couldn't cope with the temptation. So what I'm saying is it's a very, very difficult time for people to change, whether it be, diets, whether it be drinking, whether it be just about anything,
And, the reason why I'm doing a little video in a minute, you might say, but you have no idea how difficult Christmases can be. And actually, I do.
You do.
I have deep, deep sympathy with that.
Yeah.
But what I used to do, I used to negotiate with my husband, and he hated it that I hated his drinking. Because it would generally we loved each other, and so it would cause a lot of hassle. So my negotiation was around if you don't drink during the day when the kids are around, then I won't make a fuss about you drinking in the evening, and I won't give you a hard time doing it. Generally, not always, but generally that worked for us.
So the big changes are difficult at this time of the year, but tweaks, smaller changes that make your life that bit easier, are worth trying out.
Yeah,
it's worth going for.
And actually, family. Interestingly enough, my husband would never drink with his family. He would be too ashamed. So if we went to a family gathering, he usually behaved pretty well. So that again, these are things that you can use to your favour. Be around with people. I know that can be tricky with people that don't know what's going on. But there are deeper friends who've got a little bit more kind of awareness, I suppose.
Yeah, so basically you can negotiate things like when they start drinking, when they start drinking spirits. Or, for example, you could say, well, okay, don't drink when the kids are around. Wait till the kids go to bed, then you can drink.
Yeah.
Don't drink when the family's here, wait till they go, then drink. Things like that, it just makes life maybe a bit easier for you.
And generally, I think a drinker can delay.
Oh, they can delay.
They can delay.
It's whether they want to delay is another matter, whether they feel that they should delay is. But you can negotiate.
And when it comes to parties, remember this is his issue or her issue, not yours. I used to take on a lot of false shame in that situation and used to think, what are they thinking of me? What they're thinking of me, I found out, is that they feel great sympathy for me because they thought my husband was being a prat. So actually I got all the sympathy in the room and he got a lot of the disapproval. Don't hang around. You don't have to watch your husband or wife or partner make a fool of themselves. Have a taxi ready. Make it clear before you go that you are going to go home if he drinks or her drinks too much. So, again, think ahead. Don't get caught out. All the places where there's likely to be a flash point.
Yeah. It's like everything else, if you prepare for what's coming up, prepare for what you kind of know is coming around the corner, then it just makes it that wee bit easier. And again, if you keep your expectations low in regard to change at this time of the year, then it does make it easier because disappointment is the distance between your expectations and reality. So if you keep your expectations fairly low, then you'll be less disappointed. After the new year, that's a different matter.
Yes, in fact, in a way, you've got a little bit of a bargaining thing there already because you can say, I didn't look at your drinking over Christmas, but now I want to talk to you about it.
It's my turn.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I let you go in. Now it's my turn. Now let's start and talk.
Yeah, we have dry January in the UK. I don't know if they have it.
They kind of have it in different countries now a wee bit more. There's this kind of the New Year resolution has got sort of bigger, but there's also a sense of looking after your health. Sort of. And particularly after kind of the bacchanalia that is Christmas, and then in the States, you've got Thanksgiving, and then into Christmas, so it's, it's one after the other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Your partner too. Sometimes going head on is not a good way to get your drinker. With something like dry January, you may be better to say philosophically, well, you're always telling me that, you feel you've got a handle on your drink. Why don't you go through January and see how far you can get?
Yes.
And see if you can get to the end. Sometimes, that's sort of almost like a matter of fact, challenge accepted type of way of doing it.
I can control my drinking anytime I want. Yes. Okay. Prove it.
Yeah.
And it's don't tell me, show me. And dry January is a good time. I often talk to people about dry January and how it doesn't have to be a giving up. It can actually be doing something positive. Because dry January, rather than just sort of not drink, you can actually say, well, I'm not drinking because I'm going to give to a charity. So I'm doing something good through this. It becomes not a negative but a positive. It's not a subtraction. It's it's a giving. And it's changing the frame of it. How we see things.
Give me 1 minute. My thing has come off, and I'm going to put it on again.
Our attitude is very kind of fixed by how we see things. And if we see things as a negative, then we kind of strain with it. If we see it as a positive, then it makes it that wee bit easier. So you could start talking about that. And if you want to, there's last year we created a course on intervention, which is there. Have a look at that.
That's a serious approach.
Yeah, it was a 4-week thing, but I mean it's all there now. You don't have to wait the whole 4 weeks, but it's systematic. It's working through, and it's starting right at the beginning. How do you start this off? How do you plan for it? What do you need to plan for it? What do you need to say in it? And how do you actually do the intervention itself? How do you get the people together? What do you need them to say? How do you get somebody to chair it? What do they need to do? So it's a step-by-step thing. And if you sort of say, okay, well, let's have a look at that in January, and let's see if we can push this one forward. Let's see if we can start and get change going. Then, that might be something that you get yourself as a Christmas present.
And remember too that the whole of the addiction area has really, really taps into spirituality. The whole thing about the Christmas message is that a Saviour came right in the middle of poverty. And sometimes this is a point where we come to the end of ourselves and we become more aware of another who can help us. And that's certainly been true for me and John. I expect you'll say a bit about that in your book. So there's lots of different levels that we can tap into to help us. We said we'd keep this short, didn't we? So we better.
We did, and I think that's probably about as much as we need to say at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my mic fell off. So if there's a bit of crackle, that was me. I did that. I was getting too animated, and I pulled it off.
Anyway, we just came on to say, we're still here. We're still doing things. Sorry, we haven't been too active over the past couple of months. But as I say, we're here now and we will be in the new year. So we're not going anywhere.
And also, we've got a backlog. I mean, we never feel too bad because there's so many videos we've done, lots of different subjects and everything. So
there's a couple of hundred. There's a couple of hundred in there you can sort of tap into. So all we want to say is a Merry Christmas, and I hope it's a peaceful one for yourself. Remember, plan everything. Makes it that much easier. Be pragmatic, and keep your powder dry for the new year.
Yeah, absolutely. So happy Christmas from me too. We really care about you. You matter to us. And we'll no doubt come soon and see you again.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.